hurt my throat. Sorry.
Oh, welcome, welcome back, everybody.
Sorry about that.
I don't know where the fuck we were. Oh, we haven't even gotten into the movie yet.
Yeah,
No.
we're yeah.
All right. So if this stream goes down, we're probably gonna call it.
Yeah, I figured.
So if you're at home, um, and you're listening and you've been through us through the restart, we're gonna
Thank
give it
you
one
for
more.
coming back.
Yeah, well, thank you for coming back, first of all, and second of all, we're going to give it the old college try, but if this one goes down, that's probably going to be it for us. So,
Megan's here.
yes, she texted me. Thank you, Megan. Hello, Louise. Hello, Violet. I miss you all. Hopefully we'll see each other soon. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and get into the movie part of it. So, opens up, we get these horny teenagers driving out to Camp Crystal Lake. We get some hillbillies, of course, giving ominous warnings, and one of them talks real funny. I think his name is Ralph, Crazy Ralph. And he says, like, his cadences are off. Like, he says things with the wrong inflection. Like, it doesn't make any sense. But, we get them saying, like, be careful, whatever. They do not heed these warnings. They decide that they're going to go ahead and go out and be at the camp. They're trying to. They're not just out there. They're counselors who are trying to bring Camp Crystal Lake back to life after the drowning incident. You don't know that you're going to find out that it's Jason later, but right now they don't know anything. So they go up into the camp, and then the movie unfolds. So we're not going to talk about the synopsis. The synopsis is that they go to this camp, they get slaughtered. What we are going to talk about is the kills that happen, which ones we liked, which ones we didn't like. We're going to talk about the cinematography and the shots. We're going to be talking about the sound. There's not exactly a soundtrack, it's like a score, but there's a lot of really cool sound in it. Ambience and things like that other horror movies hadn't really worked with yet. We also get some POV stuff, which we saw from Michael Myers, and it's not exactly new, but I thought it was done really well in this movie as well.
I like POV. It's my favorite category.
Yeah, pretty
Is
good
it
stuff.
now?
I was gonna say also, before we get too far into it, you know when the first counselor and like everyone's first getting there to Camp Crystal Lake.
Yes.
Do you guys remember where they made like the counselor's park?
Where?
I do not.
They
Like,
made them
wait.
park right out by the lake. You know, that's 80
Oh my
miles to Santa
God.
Fe.
But
Got him! Alright, I'm done.
Fuck you, Jesus. So can we talk about the first counselor?
he's
He's
frazzled.
As soon as he said where they made him park, I was like, there's no way this is significant. So we're gonna get a fucking park by the lake joke. So it's like I wrote that song. Like it's like you're making fun of me like I wrote it. So let's talk about the first counselor, or not the first counselor. It's the guy that's running the show. And he's like oiled up and doing stretches when they get there. It's
Dude, his
very weird.
jorts.
Yeah, the jorts, the pedo mustache, the bandana, and then he's all oily. It's very, very off-putting. Can we get a confirmation, Michelle?
What's my confirmation?
Were you with the jorts or not?
Yeah, did you like the jorts? Did you enjoy the jorts?
So, I have a thing about legs on guys, and I'm so about the jorts, dude. I'm
Oh.
100% there, so yes.
Caesar has those tearaway, like he only wears shorts when he can tear away the bottom.
Yeah, those like cargo ones that has the zipper. So, anytime you just hear that
Yeah,
zip, and I'm like, okay, it's on.
it's fucking game time, baby.
Dude, I can't hear a zipper and not just think like shorts.
I
He
think
wears
of
those
jorts
fucking-
and I think of fucking John Cena. It's sad.
He wears those like tearaway warm-ups like they use for basketball warm-ups. They just fucking tear them off and then they're in their shorts.
With all the
It's
buttons.
like, oh shit! Everybody clear out the fucking Velvet Elvis and shit. It's about to get real.
that-
No, go ahead, please.
What? No, I was just gonna say here that afterwards, huh?
I
Alright.
can't find our fucking. Oh, okay, I found it. Yeah. So does a DC mean shots? A DC? Oh, is that a disconnect?
Yeah.
Oh, because he didn't finish the game. Caesar, that's gonna be a yes from me, Caesar.
That's gonna be a yes for me too, Cesar.
Go ahead, everybody. Cheers. If you're listening at home, any technical difficulties means shots. That's a new rule. So, we'll go ahead and take them if you want to, because it'll be like a punishment, but also not a punishment, because let's be real. So if you want to take them at home, take them with us. Let us know what you're drinking. Thank you for coming back with our technical difficulties. We will prevail. What is it? What do they say? I don't know. Sure, that one. Cheers, boys.
Salud.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That was a big one. Oh my god.
I forgot how to drink.
We would have like these many technical difficulties on Friday the 13th, though.
Yeah, fucking Jason's outside your house, fucking messing with the Wi-Fi.
He's like, fuck this guy.
You want to talk about me and my mom?
Did you know that there's actually a phobia? That's a fear of Friday the 13th. I
Really?
feel like this is a good time to mention it. Yeah. It's called, let's see if I can do this.
Oh.
Fuck, it's such a long word. Paraskevidecatria.
Oh, that's right. Fucking Juan has that.
And it's a fear. Let me try to say it faster and more eloquently. Paraskevidecatria. Paraskevidecatria. Phobia.
Parascavida
Sounds-
Fear of
Katria.
Friday the 13th.
Sounds like you're
Shiva
putting a
Kamina
fucking
Samakanda
curses
Krab.
on us.
I feel like I have to have like my fingers up, like beep. And no, that's terrible. But no, yeah, that's a real thing. It's a real phobia. Look it up. Spell it.
Shiva Kamini
Spell it
Soma
exactly like it
Kanda
sounds.
Kram Shiva Shamina Kom Skanda Kram.
There you go.
The League. If you've ever watched The League, that's what that's about.
Collusion?
So, collusion. Fear Friday the 13th. Fear of the movie Friday the 13th is not diagnosed, so they don't have a word for it, a Latin word for it. I don't know if that's Latin. It's probably not. It's probably not. So getting back into the movie, we get we get the creepy counselor. We get shenanigans, right? They're playing. No, they're first the way this starts off. All of the sex. The way the sex starts off is that they're praying and singing songs about Jesus. And that gets everybody all riled up.
Hell yeah!
Sorry, like, I started laughing because I started thinking of, hey, Farva, what's that restaurant we like to go to? Oh, Shenanigans?
Shenanigans. Oh, Chief, he said it. Get him. Yeah, so we get all sorts of shenanigans. The two of the kids cannot wait, and I call them kids because they're teenagers. I'm a 29-year-old man, so they're not actual children. Actually, fun fact: in the second movie, when two of the teenagers are having sex, it's like a very like PG-13 scene because like they don't show the girl hardly at all. It's like a lot of the dude, and the reason that is because that actress was underage, which is a little icky, but there you go.
I'm not
We get into
on
one
this one.
that
I'm
bangs-
not gonna make a joke this time.
The one that bangs Kevin Bacon?
No. In the second one, not in this
Oh,
one.
in the second one, gotcha.
Yeah. So in the first one, we get the Jesus Circle that gets a lot of those teens riled up. They decide that they are going. Well, two of them can't even wait till the prayers are over. They sneak off and go upstairs, and they are going to be our first victims. They also break our scream rules, which is do not go. Can I get an air horn for our Death by Daylight scream rules of horror?
Yes, I can.
Death by Daylight, scream rules of horror. Boom, beautiful timing. We get don't have sex. So obviously the kids in this fucking movies, in this movie, in the next movie, a lot of them are going to get punished for that specific rule. We also have some other rule breaks, which I'm going to go over. But the first two victims are that rule exactly. Don't have sex in a horror movie. Don't have sex in a creepy camp where a boy died. And we get our first two deaths. So our first death in the whole series, iconic, obviously important to talk about, is the gentleman that goes upstairs. I think his name is Billy, actually, which is pretty funny. And he gets stabbed out of camera's range. Pretty lame, but it happens. He gets stabbed like in the stomach, and then you just sees like his body fall, and he's like holding his blood in. And then the girl goes shortly after, and you don't even see blood on her. It's like a slow motion, and then you get like a white fadeaway shot of her that she's obviously died. To us, very entertaining. I find it entertaining every time I watch it. Do you think people in 1980 were legitimately horrified, like I am when I watch like the Blair Witch Project or something?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm pretty sure they just use their imagination. They're like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
Slap
yeah.
my ass and call me a hot dog.
Okay. Butter my butt and call me a biscuit.
Beverly, can you,
You just see
believe
that
all of
teenager
this?
die?
You just see that teenager die on this, Beverly?
I thought this Friday the 13th movie was going to be about other people that had my phobia. Turns out it was just about a bunch of horny teenagers getting dead.
Getting dead.
They had
Again.
they had me at the first Jesus song.
They was praying and singing about the Lord, and then all of a sudden everybody was getting stabbed.
Did you not hear them? They were like, going down to Jordan, gonna get myself baptized, gonna get myself baptized in the presence of the Lord. Gonna give it straight.
Dude, how the fuck do you know that hymn? I'm very impressed right now.
It's from fucking Harold and Kumar.
Oh.
Name's Randy, but yeah, comic freak show.
Sometimes I wish we didn't only do horror movies so we could talk about Harold and Kumar stuff. That's right.
This is an episode on Harold and Kumar to the White Castle.
I'm gonna go to White Castle.
Welcome to Death by Daylight. Today we're talking about if you're hungry as fuck and a White Castle is so fucking far.
How far would you go to have nasty little overpriced burgers? That's our question.
Cherry Hill. Go as far as Cherry Hill.
Goes, yeah, I guess. Cherry Hill's very iconic. It's also the hill that they race down in Little Giants. Kevin and
That
his
is
uncle
true. Yes. Thank you.
racing down Cherry Hill. You're welcome, Michelle.
It's also where
Get really excited.
Jason Voorhees lost his virginity on Cherry Hill.
Did he
True fact.
really?
True fact.
True fact. Write it down.
Write it down.
That's a fact. That's a Jesus fact.
A little thing for people listening. Go to Google and look up Young Jason.
Really?
Yeah, that'll be
The
funny.
rapper, the mixtape.
No,
Y-U-N-G.
No,
Young Jason.
just look up Young Jason. You might laugh.
Jason Derulo.
Did you guys know what the original name for Jason was supposed to be? His name wasn't supposed to be Jason.
What was it supposed to be?
What was it supposed to be, Jesus?
It was supposed to be Josh.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it was.
Was it really?
Yeah, the writer had wrote his name first as Josh, but they thought that it wasn't creepy enough that Josh sounded like too much of a
pussies.
it was like, Josh sounds too much of a good boy. Let's change it to Jason, more manly. You know.
Hey, whoa. You can be a good boy and be manly too, alright? I just
So
want to
any
make that very clear.
any Joshes out there listening?
Oh, did you guys hear that at all?
No, was
That
it Caesar? Hello, Caesar.
hello, Caesar. Um, he he mentioned that Josh was the name of the writer's son, so he didn't want it
Oh.
to be like have that connection of those two. Um, so
Yeah,
it was changed to Jason, but also I don't know if it was the director or the writer. I'm about to
yeah.
look it up, but
Jason was a bully of the writer, so he names after him.
got it. And then also the writer of the first one, who's like credited for kind of like creating that world with like Pamela and Jason Voorhees, and also the character of like, um, my goodness, like this the lone like heroine protagonist that like survives at the end, which in the first one is Alice. He's credited for that, but he actually said he never watched like Friday the 13th 2 or beyond because he never approved of Jason doing the killings. So he didn't like that. So he just wanted, the mom to be, oh, it's just revenge for my son. So he never saw any of the other films, and he never collaborated with any of them either.
Normally, I side with those kinds of people, like people that are like, they've taken my art and they've bastardized it. But this guy had it all wrong because
Well, okay,
because
this is this is gonna be a great discussion. I disagree. I'm kind of on his side because there's a lot of shit about the first one going into this with like the Alice character and the whole. I guess maybe the dream sequence at the end with the canoe and everything, when the cops show up. But I guess I'll save it until then. We'll talk about that later. Get through it.
uh yeah, let's get a couple more kills in, and then chronologically we'll talk about that.
Gotcha. But
Um,
I will.
Go ahead.
I got shit to say.
Yeah, go for it.
No, I mean about that. So I'll save
Oh,
it.
eventually, yeah, gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So we got the first two kills down. I think we've get 8 more kills, I believe, maybe 9. And I will try to remember them as much as I can. We get Kevin Bacon and his girlfriend dying next, I believe, while the strip poker game is going on. Um, Again, they're all like praying and stuff, but clearly these hymns and prayers have gotten them very, very riled up because everyone is doing something sexual. Kevin Bacon and his girlfriend go back to do the dirty deed. They're done dirt cheap, and we get the other kids who are playing strip poker while the oiled up man is over at the diner. He's having pancakes or something, I don't know. But he gets stuck there because of the rain. We also get a side plot. A young woman is late. She didn't get to join up with the group, and so she's hitchhiking and trying to get to Camp Crystal Lake. And there's a creepy trucker that like grabs her ass as he puts her in the car, and then she has to deal. You think that's the worst of the hitchhiking? It's not, because she gets picked up by A1 Pamela Voorhees. You don't see it. This is where we get the first POV stuff, where she's just talking. She's talking to like a random person, and then she starts to get creeped out. I thought this was really well done and really well played by the actress, because she doesn't have a lot to work with, right? Like, there's not something creepy on screen. You have to be creeped out by her reaction to whatever you can't see, and you are successfully creeped out by this interaction, so much so that she jumps out of the Jeep and she's being chased through the forest. All of this very well done and legitimately creepy. I think some of the kills are a little bit cheesy. This one is not that way. She's very good. Go ahead.
No, I agree wholeheartedly on that because you see it all from, which we later find out Pamela Voorhees is her POV, right?
Right.
And you don't see like there's shots of like the Jeep driving, but again you can't like it's like just a dark figure, just a shadow. But you see her talking like, oh yeah, I want to work with kids, this and that, blah blah blah. But it's kind of like a nod because the really like the opening scene, like the year after Jason drowns and it's like the first killing. um sound? Oh no. Hello?
Yes.
I
Oh
can
my
hear you.
god. No, sorry. Caesar just kind of mentioned like the sound died down. Sorry. It came back. We're good. It's all good. As I was saying, I just felt like that was a continue. So opening shot, the first two kills, all from the point of view from the killer, and then we go back to this, and it's kind of the same thing, but like from the vehicle. So anyway, long story short, I thought that was very well done. I agree, some of the other kills are a little cheesy, but this one was like very creepy. That girl's such a sweetheart. She's so excited to be there and to work, and she just has this terrible death like coming to her. But yeah.
Yeah, and I think as far as the actors are concerned, outside of Kevin Bacon, she does the best job. And even Kevin Bacon, like he's well known, and so you kind of pay attention. But it's not that hard to do what he does. He's just like a good looking kid. Like that's the actor. That's what the character he's playing.
He was a little lame in bed, if I'm being. He was a little boring. I feel like she was doing most of the work in
She
that
was
section.
laying there and taking it. Sorry.
And he was just like barely moving his ass to like. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about this.
I
You better
imagine it
talk
was.
about Kevin Bacon's ass.
I imagine it was more of like a directorial thing. They're like, don't really give it to her because this isn't like this
Give it to
isn't
her as if
X-rated.
you're a 17-year-old. Like,
Yeah, they
you're
don't know what
just-
they're doing. He's just excited
Yeah.
to be there. Um, not that. All right. So, uh, so yeah, we get yeah,
Okay,
we get the
everyone out, all 6 of you who are watching, please put in the comments. What do you think about Kevin's Bacon sex game? Is it?
yeah. Let's talk about his stroke game in the comments because that is really what we're here to talk about. So let's move quickly through some more kills. Where it's getting late and we don't know how long our fucking technology is gonna last. We get so Kevin Bacon dies next. This is probably the most iconic death in the series, not the series, but in the first movie, which is the arrow through the throat. Kevin Bacon is smoking a joint after his girlfriend goes to rock a piss after the sex, and he's smoking a joint, and boom, arrow through his throat. She was under the bed the whole time, just creepily listening to the sweet, sweet sounds of Kevin Bacon's stroke game.
She's like, I'm
And
gonna kill this motherfucker, his weak ass stroke game.
it's like, I thought I might let him live, but that stroke game was just so weak. I had to fucking put the arrow through it. So she kills him. The girlfriend obviously goes next. I think her throat is slit as well. Very low budget movie. Obviously the special effects were very low. So big deal that that these throat slits were done pretty well. Not amazing, but pretty well. And then, so we've got a bunch of kids down. The only people left are the people that were playing strip poker. And they start getting taken off one by one. The first one to go is the biggest douchebag in the movie. So let's go over a list of his petty crimes first. He pretends to drown so that he can make out with the girl that saves him.
Yeah.
Uh, he has cultural appropriation of Native Americans as he puts a headdress on and dances around like he's a Native American. Um, just overall, just like a loudmouth and stuff. He gets taken out. You don't see it though. You don't see it. The other kids are getting it on in the bottom bunk, and then on the top bunk, you just see that he's dead. Oh no, you actually see him dead he's on top of the Kevin Bacon bunk.
Yeah.
So you see him right after you find out that both of them are dead. We get some pretty good deaths here as well. We get we get another off-screen stabbing, and then we get the one girl who is her body. You don't see her death, but she gets thrown through the window. Who's the girl that survives in this movie? Her name?
Alice, and
Alice.
the one that gets thrown through the window is Brenda.
So Brenda gets her ass launched through the window. She's tied up. You can't really tell exactly how she died, but there's blood and she's tied up and yeah, so Jared says he makes the echo stir with his bacon meat.
Oh.
Lol. Bacon
Jesus.
bunk. Lol. yeah, so we get
Thank you for
we get
participating in this.
yes, thank you, Sharon. Bacon meat. We get those deaths. There's not like a lot to it. It's a slasher film. It's the people are getting slashed to bits, and they're running and all this stuff. Again, it's not poorly done. It's actually very well done. There's a lot of POV. There's a lot of really intense moments. It's raining, which is done really well. In addition, and then we get to the end where Alice is the only one left, and she goes. This is the best scene in the movie for me. She runs full speed. Oh, you eventually find out that Miss Voorhees is there. She tells her why she's there. Jason drowned. They should have been paying attention to him. He's a very special boy. He's a poor swimmer. And so she's taking revenge because she even says this is my favorite part before my favorite scene is she goes those counselors should have been paying attention to them, but instead they were making love. And it's like, okay, that's
As
not what
they
they were doing,
should
lady.
be.
There's no love in what they're
Teenagers don't
doing.
make love.
I was
Yeah, I
making love
mean,
when I was in middle school.
you're
Shit.
an exception.
I don't know why I said middle school. God damn it. All right, let's go
Oh,
on.
you fucking can opener motherfucker.
Uh,
Um, so and then Alice ends up running at her full speed with a fucking machete and cuts her whole head off. I don't know if you've ever
which,
tried to cut someone's head off with a machete, but
dude,
let me tell you.
if you look at it, the way she swings the fucking, her head's flying off before the cut's even made, and then it's like in the wrong angle.
Bro, there's a lot of bad angles.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to bring this up because it sounds like a pretty harsh criticism, but there's so many deaths in this movie and the next movie, and I'll talk about one of them specifically, where the angle of the weapon does not match what
Yeah.
happens in the actual death, and this decapitation is clearly one of them. If anything, it should have like really like launched into her shoulder blade and like cut into her body, but instead there's like a full decapitation that you would have to swing that machete immaculately for there to be that kind of decapitation, and obviously she didn't do a very good job with it. But nonetheless, we end up with a decapitation.
I
She
like
is
how her hands at the end too. She was like giving like that. No, like you motherfucker.
she had like she had her hands up.
Yeah, like Mrs. Voorhees had her hands up, like you son of a bitch, you fucked up my plan. Like,
You've cut off my head. Yeah, so we get the end of Pamela Voorhees here. Thank God, because really, who wants to watch Pamela Voorhees kill anyone? Not me. Oh yeah,
Really?
we were gonna get into this.
Okay.
uh,
Well,
yeah, go ahead, Michelle.
well, just to finish, I guess the first part. Um, Alice decapitates her. Then she gets in the canoe, gets in the middle of the lake, right? Because like I'm safe here, yay! Wakes up, cops are there. She's saved, right? And then so here's where I have issue.
Okay.
I have questions or issues. I'm not sure which one, but it's either a dream sequence, right, or according to the cops that she later speaks to in the hospital. But she sees Jason like jump out, and it's that like infamous, famous scene, whatever, and
Where he
grabs
grabs
her,
her.
pulls her, into the I was gonna say ocean, into the lake, and whatever, right? But then she wakes up in the hospital, and she's like, "Oh, the boy! Did you find the boy?" And the cop's like, "We didn't find a boy. There was no boy." And she's like, "Oh, he's still there. He's still there. Oh my God, he's still there." Then cut to the beginning of part two, right? Like it's not like right after, but it does replay all of that last sequence
In the second part, yeah.
in the second part, yes. Okay, so my question is when we first are introduced to Mrs. Voorhees, did she know that Jason, like his body was still in the lake? Like, was the body never recovered? Is this something that it's like, okay, we couldn't find the body, we don't have the technology or whatever the fuck to do it. So she just let the body stay there. Like I didn't remember this until I rewatched it yesterday, and I remember like, oh shit, that's right. When he drowned, she was working in the kitchen, so she was there. Where the fuck was she when he was drowning? Like, if she was like screaming, like she definitely could have heard as well. So there's all these things that maybe it's like, the whole magic pill theory in the films, right? Like, just take it as it is, just fucking watch it, Michelle, shut the hell up. But also, were things changed in the second one because original writer didn't want to be a part of it if Jason was doing the killings, right? But also it made a shit ton of money in the box office, so no, we have to keep going and continue this story, so Jason's gonna do the killing. But let's try to fix this whole, was his body recovered? According to Alice, he's still in there. Did Miss Voorhees know? And then the second one, you find out, just to fast forward a little bit, is that the theory going around with the new camp people, I forget their name, that Jason actually witnessed Alice decapitate his mom, and so now he's out for revenge.
So,
Can someone
go
tell me
ahead.
what the fuck's going on? So,
So
which one is
here's
it?
what I got for you. Here's what I got for you. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Ben.
And also,
Well, so-
Pamela Voorhees is the superior killer because in one
Ugh.
day she was able to kill everyone there, whereas in part 2 it took Jason 2 full fucking days.
I
And
don't
even
know
then,
though.
Miss Voorhees was able to throw Brenda through the fucking window and then magically run the 1-2 miles where the camp director left his Jeep, bring it there, and then trick Alice into believing her. So
That's why I have a hard time because out of everyone at that camp, really Alice put up the biggest fight against her. Like, they were going at it for quite a bit. Like, I had found that hard to believe that you're out here wrecking people, killing them nonstop, and then this little girl right here just really puts up the biggest fight you've ever had, to the point where you get your head chopped off.
Jason is a literal indestructible human killing machine. So it's hard for me to say that anyone's a better killer than Jason, but especially not Mrs. Voorhees, who gets defeated by an 18-year-old. Jason just doesn't die. He never dies, or he dies and he comes back. But here's what I got on the plot holes. They 100% built an entire franchise on a plot hole. Again, the reason that Mrs. Voorhees was there was because she was avenging Jason, then Jason's avenging Mrs. Voorhees. So obviously they fucked that up. And I 100% that IRL, what happened was that they made a bunch of money that they weren't expecting to make, and they were like, yo, let's fucking do this, but let's make the killer cooler. And then the writer was like, no, I want the killer to be an old lady. And they're like, look, man, it's just not as fucking good as this zombie kid who was at the bottom of the lake. So I think what happened, and this is something I'm making, okay, is that Jason was dead, and he was at the bottom of the lake, and they never recovered the body. But the sinister, evil energy of his mom being decapitated, literally 30 to 40 yards away from his dying body, shifted the core of evil in the earth and brought his body back so that he could continue killing. Well, not continue killing, starting to kill, because really all he was before was a drowned boy. Again, this is just something. Again, it's a magic pill. It's something that you think to yourself because there is a plot hole, and you can't, there isn't anything to explain it. There isn't anything to explain it. And so for me, I don't care as much about it as I do with other movies, because I don't think they were banking on the lore as hard as other horror movies are. So it happens with a lot of slasher films, where really you're there because you want to watch people get slashed up, and they were like, you know what, people are gonna deal with it, man. It's 1982. There's not a lot that they can do as far as horror movies are going. Let's make 3. Let's make 4.
Which I think is brilliant on that part, but I also do see the writer, Victor Miller, who, wrote the original, okay, well, I don't agree with Jason doing the killings, I don't want to be a part, I don't want to watch, they bastardized my story, basically the narrative. But also, I agree with you. Like there wouldn't have been any continuation. Like the killer was decapitated. But
Hey, Ernie, you're on the loading screen. Sorry, Michelle.
oh no, you're good. I was gonna mention that too. So I just pointed it out.
My
There you
bad.
All
Um,
good. We're figuring it out.
It's just one of those fucking Friday
It's
the
just one of those
13th
days, man. It's just one of those days. Where's fucking Darren when you need him?
Also, my sister's
Oh.
listening. Hi, Amy. How are you? I miss
Hello, Amy.
you. um. Anyway, long story short, I get it. It's the magic pill. You just swallow it, continue, watch the movie, and then you watch the continuing. What is it, like 12? Even when he goes to like space. And I get it. Like it's money. Fuck yeah, let's do it. However,
Jason X, yeah.
Jason goes to space camp. Which actually, in that movie, he had the most kills in the entire
no
series.
shit.
In Jason X, he has the most killing. He has the most
Yeah.
the most kills.
Yeah, I
Holy shit.
believe in
See, I
Jason
wanna
X,
know-
he has 28 kills in that movie.
Jeez.
Holy shit.
So I want to know which Jason has the most, or rather, Friday the 13th has the most, or is it Jason? Like, how do I like? Some are Jason, like
They're all
they
Friday
made
the
the title?
13th series,
So-
but some
So
of them
it's
are
like-
called. It's like Freddy versus Jason, Jason
Okay.
X,
So
Jason
with all
Takes Manhattan.
with,
Got it.
with all of Jason, he has killed 167 people, but in Jason X, he
Badass.
kills 28 alone.
So I want to know how many lame ass sex scenes are in all of the films.
Oh boy.
Or how many badass sex scenes like Kevin Bacon's performance. God damn, homeboy putting in work.
Stirring them echoes with that bacon meat. It's just
But
fucking.
anyway, I think you're being a little too harsh on Mrs. Pamela Voorhees. I think she did a fantastic job trying to revenge her son's death, even though she was there. She probably could have heard him screaming too. Also, it bugs me, like, I'm not completely, like, 1,000% on her side, because if the body was still in the lake, why the fuck didn't she try harder to get someone to get the body out and have
Someone's like,
a
I can't
funeral
swim
or-
that deep.
Yeah, like it's just ridiculous. Like it's a fucking lake. It's not like the ocean. Just go in
My-
there and get it.
My question
part of
is
me-
now,
Uh-huh.
with her being the cook for the camp, like, were they expecting her to make dinner that night? Like, hey, Mrs. Voorhees, I know your son just died, but we gotta eat dinner tonight. What's on the
It's like
menu?
It's 7:30 p.m. So get
It's
to
like Sloppy Joe night, and I like love Sloppy Joe night.
Still making them sloppy joes, right?
Sloppy Joe, sloppy Joe.
No, I went on this whole rant with Cesar earlier, and I kind of mentioned, like, is this like that magic pill? Am I supposed to just accept this? Is it okay? And I was just like so mad because I kind of like Pamela as the killer. I really do. But I understand why Jason was like easier to sell to like the mass market.
Well,
And,
I think that
Did
it's
you say to
easier-
the mask market?
To the mask. Well, that
I
comes
think-
in
I think
number
he's-
3.
Bro, he's easier to sell, but also like, I don't know. I've never met anyone, and I talk about these movies a lot because again, this is my shit. I love it. That I've never met anyone that's like, you know what, Pam Voorhees really fucking takes the cake for me. Everyone's like, man, that movie is like, you gotta watch it because it's the beginning, but also Jason with a mask on
In
is-
space. Oh.
in space in Manhattan. Jason with a mask on is where it's at, man. Like he's one of the baddest motherfuckers on the planet.
Did you know he has a comic book where he fights Leatherface?
No, but that sounds amazing.
Dude, he takes a bus to Texas.
To Texas?
I could just imagine him on the Greyhound. They're like, "So where you going, buddy?" "I'm gonna go to Texas to Lubbock to kill this fucking guy."
I have some French fried potatoes.
Where did he park at?
Down by the lake, 80 miles from Santa Fe. I don't. I think that you can like there's discussions to be had about a lot of things in a lot of horror movies. I don't understand where you could even like Pamela Voorhees. Like, she doesn't look cool. The actress doesn't play it particularly well. She's not creepy.
She's
she.
kind
I
of creepy.
love that though. Like
Dude, you're
it's
talking
that
about.
whole like it's like was it like the fuck? What was that lame ass guy who wrote no. Damn it. The guys you were talking about, like the one who's like he had a family, he was a serial killer. He seemed really normal, but in real life he was like fucking murdering all these
That's like
people.
everyone we talk
Yeah,
about.
we've done several of those.
The one based on the Trinity Killer in Dexter,
Oh shit.
BTS, right?
BTK.
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 Hey, yeah,
BTS.
BTS is that Korean pop band. That K-pop
You know
band.
what? Which actually we're covering next week. Thanks for telling everyone,
Got it.
Michelle.
I'm sorry, I
So
just broke my
BTK, yeah.
contract.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Um, but no, it's that idea, you know. It's this guy. He had a family. Everything like seemed normal from the outside, like you know Mrs. Voorhees. But then you know she had her stupid ass sweater, and then she just like turns on Alice, and Alice is like, "What the fuck?" And yeah, and also I still maintain she was a superior killer because she was able to take out everyone in that fucking camp, including the guy who is coming back, take his vehicle, throw Brenda through the fucking window, drive it down, trick out like it was a whole thing. So
All of
Now
that to
now
get
starting to
defeated by
upset
an
me, dude.
18-year-old who
You're
chopped
starting
off
to
her
upset
head.
me because
If
the one
anyone, she is
person,
the fucking Atlanta Falcons of serial killers.
dude, yeah, like you had such a big lead, and the thing is that like Jason literally at one he stops caring about surprise at points in movies. Like at certain points he just decides he's gonna walk at people and they're gonna fucking shoot him and they're gonna try to stab him and they're gonna throw shit at him and he is indestructible. He does not give a fuck.
because
And he and
there's a supernatural element to Jason, and I think that's what
which
you know
makes
makes him
him
almost.
infinitely cooler, dude.
He's
Well,
like
hey,
indestructible.
hold on.
Whereas
I have a question. I
Pamela
do have
had
a question
none of
about
this,
Jason.
and she still like fucking kicked ass. Yeah, she got
Oh,
overtaken by like a
Michelle, no.
90-pound 18-year-old.
Yeah, literally the first person who fights back that she doesn't catch by 100% surprise is the one that kills her. Literally one actual challenge that she faces, she's a failure. She is a failure
bitch.
and
Jason is
and
like
she's
in his 20s, okay? So he has the stamina.
Okay, hold on. That's my follow-up question because um Jason dies as a child. How does he come back as a man?
because he didn't die,
Magic.
Jesus.
No, he just lived underneath the lake for like
He lived
one
Under
life.
the
the
sea.
lake.
Under the sea.
Down where it's wetter. Oh yes, it's better.
So yeah,
Um,
that's actually a good point. Because did he actually die?
Take
Did
it
Mrs.
from me.
Voorhees go
Is
and
he like
rescue him
Jesus
and
in the
hide him
Bible
in
where
the
he's like
woods?
13 to 30 like in a fucking
what do they got? A lot of sand. We got a whole crustacean band.
That's it. I want to see the remake with Jason and
such a good
Sebastian the
song,
fucking
dude. It's such a good fucking song. I think that's where I started loving reggae.
What?
from
I just heard that Jamaican song. I heard the Jamaican twang, and I was like, "Bro, this is music."
It just
I
hit
fucking
me
love
right in
that
the
song.
soul.
Dude, it really did.
Fucking
yeah,
lobster,
let's-
man. Or he's a crab, huh?
They got a
He's a
lot of
crab.
sand.
yeah.
We got the whole crustacean band. All right, I'm done.
So Jason,
yeah, so yeah, Jason.
So Jason has crabs is what we were getting at,
Oh my
right?
God.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree on this because I just don't have the energy to argue. I just don't. I think if you're just gonna not I've presented my argument, which is that objectively he's cooler. So if you can't agree with that, then that's okay. Like
Oh no,
I just don't have more ammo.
No, I'm not agreeing. I do agree. He is definitely the cooler
Hey
character.
guys, you know
murder
what's
to
cool?
follow.
Peeing in your pants.
See, here's I haven't thrown anything into this argument, but does Mrs. Voorhees have a hockey mask? Come on.
Well, Jason
that's
doesn't
like
have one until like an hour into number 3.
Well,
so,
he finds
like,
it eventually, so.
yeah,
But-
but it's the fucking coolest though.
But have
It's
you seen Mrs. Voorhees' sweater though? Come on,
Have you?
that played
it
an
was a
important
dope
role in
ass
the second
sweater.
part.
It was a dope ass sweater.
Yeah.
Have you seen Drake's sweater right now?
Yeah, it's pretty. I saw that.
Hey,
Like
homeboy,
literally right now.
I feel like fucking Jason Drake is cutting the phone lines to the hotline bling in that fucking loading screen.
Oh my god. All right, all right.
So
That
we're
it was a
talking about
long
Jason
walk for a
Momoa,
sip
right?
of water.
Just give Pamela
Yeah, that's
some
exactly.
credit. You know she's
No,
cool.
I don't want to take credit away from her, and I don't want to take credit away from the first movie. I just am glad that first of all that Jason started killing, but second of all that he found the fucking hockey mask, because I think that that's the coolest thing to ever have happened in a slasher film is this giant motherfucker wearing a hockey mask, fucking cutting horny teens to bits. It just hits me right in the fucking gut with awesomeness. I just love it. And speaking of that, we need to get to number 2 because we're getting pretty late here.
Yes.
We've got the second part. A lot of the same shit happening. They didn't reach very far for a plot here. It's been so in actual time, it's only been a year, but in the movie, it's been 5 years since the Crystal Lake thing happened, and you only know that because at one point the sheriff goes, "Look, buddy, it's been 5 years where everything's quiet, and we think you should take this fucking town over," or whatever he says. But camp counselors coming to Camp Crystal Lake, and then coming in Camp Crystal Lake, because a lot of the same shit. Super horny. We have minorities now, which is nice. They're
correct.
the
There was
Go
one
on.
black man in the first
No,
one.
oh, was there?
The scene at the diner where she's like, "Where's Crystal Lake?"
Oh, I
There
meant
was a
like
guy-
actual like camp
I know.
camp counselors.
That is very true. But there is one black man, and then yes, there is another black man as counselors in the second one. So there's a black man and there's an Asian woman, and they both have like maybe a good 45 seconds of screen time.
Yes, there is an Asian woman. I didn't say they were there for a long time. They were just there
No,
for
I
a
know.
good time.
How was their stroke
I,
game?
I noticed that as well. But
Well,
Muffin, the
based
dog, had more
completely on the
screen
race. You can imagine whose stroke game was better. Yeah, so no, he only had 45 seconds of on-screen time, and all 45
Yeah, baby,
seconds. were
45
just of
seconds
him
is all I
fucking.
need, baby.
It was just him. It was just him fucking different girls for 45 seconds of screen time. They're like, finally, someone that doesn't move their ass like Kevin Bacon.
He's like, y'all want to see what a real sexy looks like? That's why they hired me, baby.
Baby, that's why they hire. Also, we're not doing a caricature. We're making fun of Pull Josh, who talks like that, just with the baby thing. So what we've got here is a failure to communicate, and there's a lot of really nice kills in this one, but I'm gonna laser focus here on a young man named Mark, who is wheelchair bound and also a fucking hunk. This young gentleman is very good looking young man. He's ripped, obviously mostly upper body workouts for him. But he's ripped. Everybody likes him. And what we get very early, and this is a part that I also don't understand, is that half of them, of the camp counselors, including the minorities, go off to a bar while they leave the other ones there. First of all, who's old enough to drink? Why aren't they all old enough to drink? And why would you leave these people here knowing that they're at a haunted summer camp? We get the girl who ends up being the final girl, who you can see from the very beginning, because she's pretty, but she's also like very quirky, and she's also hooking up with like one of the main camp counselors, the guy who's running the whole show in this one. She's hooking up with that guy, and so you can tell that she's going to play a prominent role. We get the death of Alice very early in the movie. First of all, there's 10 minutes of fucking flashback in this movie, which is terrible. The movie came out a year ago. We don't need 10 minutes of flashback. We just don't. And that's how it starts. And then she gets killed with an ice pick, which is pretty badass. And then, and the main girl, you also find out a little tidbit of information that's going to be important later, which is that she is majoring in child psychology, um, which she uses her powers in child psychology later. And then we get again, the minorities, along with some other people, go to the bar, and the other kids are left there at Crystal Lake. And then we get some fucking killing. Jason, anytime he does show up, which isn't super often, like you get enough of a look at him, but he's not as prominent a figure as he is later when he gets the hockey mask and they figure out he's super cool. He's wearing like a burlap sack over his head, which isn't a great look. But he is there to avenge his mother's head. We find out because Alice, right before she takes the ice pick, she opens the fridge. Boom, rotting head of Mrs. Voorhees in the fridge. And we get some deaths. We get a really nice throat slit. We get an off the camera stab. And then we get the best death of them all, which is what I'm laser focusing on, which is Mark. So we've got Mark in the wheelchair. We've got a young lady named Vicky, and Vicky wants to fuck Mark so bad. Like
I do too.
she just, I'm glad because you could maybe get inside of her headspace. She cannot. If a man did this, like if the gender roles were reversed, that young gentleman would be arrested because it is sexual harassment. Like he clearly Mark doesn't want any part of it, or he would have taken the first hint. And she cannot stop throwing herself at him. She's every single time he opens his mouth and she's around, she's turning it into a sexual innuendo. She's fucking driving hard to the hoop. She's LeBron James in a Game 7 final. She is fucking trying to fuck the dog shit out of this young gentleman.
Yo,
Yes. Go on.
she asks, "Oh, why are you in that chair?" And he says, "Oh, motorcycle accident."
Uh-huh.
"Oh, is it just your legs?" And he's like, "Oh, I get by."
Mm-hmm.
And she's like,
Mm-hmm.
"Really? How is that not flirting back?" The whole, "Oh, I get by." Like, that
Wait,
was
she
was
like
told
talking.
him.
her
He
okay
told
to
him
like,
she's bi. Was that a?
no, that I get
Okay.
by. Meaning, because she was asking specifically, like, yeah, she was a little.
This poor innocent wheelchair bound man was talking about how he gets by in life, like, oh, like I figure it out, like, yeah, it's just my legs, but I'm
Why
still a
did he make the
human.
sexy eyes at her then?
I'm still a human. Those are just his eyes, and you're objectifying him, Michelle. Okay. he
I mean,
he
in your words, he was a fucking hunk. Yes, I agree.
No, yeah, he's super hot, and they flirt. I mean, I was making a joke, but they like
Me too.
I just
Clearly.
I just I
I
just
agree.
wanted to
She's a little
I just
too
wanted
much. Calm down, bitch. There's some
Yeah,
water on
no,
your
yeah. She's
crotch.
it's a fucking slip and slide down there, boys. Like it's just not. It's very very obvious that she is going hard into the hoop, and he's killed. He's killed for it. We get some other role breaks here. The scream role breaks. Two of them are having sex. This is probably the most iconic death in this movie, which is the double death. The spear through both of the bodies. This is also the sex scene where the girl was underage, so it was like very mild and mostly implied that they were having sex. But she sees him at the last minute. Obviously, the guy doesn't see him. POV, boom, spear through both of them. They're both dead. And then we get my boy Mark. He is, um, rolling around, and this is also a bad angle. So you see the machete clearly coming from one direction, like behind him, and then all of a sudden it's lodged halfway into his face from the opposite direction of where Jason was. And then we get the most hilarious scene in the first two movies, definitely, maybe in the whole series, which is Mark is macheted so hard in the face that his wheelchair backs out and starts rolling down this flight of 200 stairs. It's the longest
200.
staircase. It's the staircase. It's the staircase that Ace Ventura puts the slinky down. It's the staircase that fucking that they
The
jump
priest falls off in The
in The
Exorcist.
Exorcist. Yeah,
Yes.
it's the staircase that fucking Captain America, what's his name?
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans fucking tries to jump in fucking Scott Pilgrim versus the World. It is the longest staircase, and you just see Mark fucking going backwards in a wheelchair down this staircase after getting macheted in the face in the rain. It's just so well done. I don't know whose idea that was, but fucking props to them because what a fucking scene. And I think that's most of the deaths. We see the super hot girl, the one that gets her ass shot with a slingshot by that super creepy dude. Um, you see her body at the end, but you don't see her die. You just see her get really scared. The guy that is super creepy gets hung up in a tree, like he gets in a snare that Jason set, hung up in a tree, boom, throat slit. And then we get to the ending of the movie, which is going to be way more than just the ending because there's obviously a huge story to what happens at the end, and it's getting very late. But what we have is the main girl. She's a child psychologist, and she is in Jason's fuck shack, and she is scared for her life. She knows that he's coming for him, and or that he's coming for her, and that he's going to kill her. And so what she does, and Michelle mentioned earlier that this sweater was going to play a big part, is that she puts on Mrs. Voorhees' sweater to try and manipulate and confuse him into letting her live. And it works. It works for the most part. Um, and uh, and you see the other girl, that girl that I mentioned earlier. Her body's there, but you can't. First of all, you can't even tell that she's dead. We get Mrs. Voorhees' rotting head on his little altar that he's made for his mother. A lot of super creepy stuff that is just really, really well done. Um, and I thought the ending was very good. We get another final girl who gets away, um, and the reason we don't have to talk about some of the intricacies of this movie is because again the plot is very similar, um, and you don't have to fucking take a long walk to get there. This is for me, out of the two movies, this is a superior movie. The deaths are better. There's not a lot of off-screen stabbing, although there is some. Um, and obviously, I've made the case for Jason just being like a cooler threat. We get the cop that dies in this movie, which I thought that whole scene was done really well. Him being chased through the woods. We get the death of Crazy Ralph, which you really don't see coming, and we get a cliffhanger. We get another cliffhanger, and I think then we get into my favorite parts of the series, which aren't going to be on this episode, but really really well done. What do you guys got for me? That was like 3 minutes or 4 minutes of straight talking.
I have a
so-
question.
Yes.
Do we think that in the beginning of part 2 that Alice was actually killed by Jason, or did she kill herself? Because clearly he never really leaves the lake, or there is no indication of that. And personally, I thought she just has massive PTSD. You see her in the beginning like she's somewhere else, like the location's not disclosed, but like clearly she wouldn't go back to the lake. And it's just this weird, like, oh, the cat jumps in the window. Oh no, the head. Like, I personally believe she's just suffering from PTSD, among other things. She sees the head, sees quote unquote the head, and then kind of just kills herself with the weapon that she was holding in her hand, or I guess gets stabbed. Thoughts?
Jesus, you want me to go?
No, I mean, go. You'll probably have a better thought process than I do for this thing.
Yeah, he's a Cosmoed out.
Well, for me, the answer is pretty quick. So you would have to believe that her fear is her fear of like her own self, like fear of like her thoughts or whatever, because she's clearly very scared through the whole sequence. And then the way that they tie the plot together is the head. You see that it's in her fridge, and then you see it that it's back in the lake. So he carried it with him. Is the Occam's razor explanation there? You're right. He doesn't leave the lake at least up to this point before he goes to space and then Manhattan. But you don't have
Fair
you don't
enough.
have
That is true.
you don't have him leaving the lake. So it's just a matter of whether you can believe that's all a matter of PTSD, or for me, it just falls on Occam's razor, where it's the simplest solution is that he carried the head there, killed her, brought the head back. Um, and I think that you don't get a lot of that stuff from these writers. You don't get a lot of that stuff. Like it's pretty fucking straightforward. They didn't even bother to write like a whole new plot. Really, it was just the same movie with a
Like
different
copy
killer.
paste,
And
just
yeah,
different.
basically,
Yeah.
basically.
And the other thing was, hold on, sorry, what was the fucking other thing? Oh, Paul, the guy Paul who helps, the our heroine at the end. Is she alive, or is he alive at the end? Does he make it? Does Muffin fuck it up for everyone? Like,
I
I'm,
believe that. Well, so what
I mean,
happens
again,
is
I'm not
that
like arguing. I'm just like thoughts, or is there like was something put out like this is the answer? Because I'm asking because I have no idea.
no, what I was gonna say is that I don't really know either. I can only go because I didn't research like what people think about it. So just to clarify, at the end, Paul shows up, her boyfriend, and he shows up, and eventually they get the police there again, right?
Hmm.
Um, and so I think the answer is again that so there's a problem here, which is that in the other movie there's only one survivor, and in this movie you would have to believe that both of them survived, even though there's not really a reason for him to survive. Like everyone else dies, why would he have to live? I think it's a good question, and it's a question that I don't necessarily have an answer to. I wish I did, um, but but
I was just
it,
looking more so like opinions, not so much because I was very like because I also thought Muffin was dead. Muffin the dog. Like
right.
I thought like the first couple found him dead, so I thought like okay maybe this is a dream sequence. She dreamt all this up and then now she's getting into the ambulance and she's okay. I don't know.
I don't know either. I think everyone's dead except her is my initial instinct, just because of again of what they did in the first movie, and then you try to keep that going, and then I think everyone's dead except her. Hopefully not Muffins. I never want a dog to die in any movie.
Likewise. I agree.
But yeah, I think Paul's probably dead.
Okay.
So concludes our we're not done yet, but as far as like plot lines in the movie, that's it for Friday the 13th 1 and 2. um we again, there's lore that they develop. There are things that go back into why he's like this, why he the supernatural element of it. That story is filled in. It's not told, but there are parts that are filled in. But up to now, what we get is very basic slasher films. We don't get a sense of Jason's invincibility at this point. We don't get a sense of his supernatural ability at this point. We get that they're both very fast and good at what they do, but there's not that stuff. We also get the potato sack instead of the hockey mask. We get very, very simple writing as far as there just isn't a lot of story here. What there is a lot of blood. There's a lot of killing. There's a lot of chasing and that kind of thing. And if I'm being honest, it fucking works. I love movies that are gonna make me think, and horror movies even that are gonna make me think and follow a lot of intricate hallways and plot lines and things like that. But I love Friday the 13th. I love all the way up. I'm not gonna say I love every movie, but up until about part 6, I don't think there's a bad installment in the series. Um, and I love it. I love the way he looks. I love the creepy noise that nobody knows who's making. I I love the fucking hockey mask. I love the persistence, the the attitude of these horny teens that are like, I don't care if everyone that has sex here dies. I'm gonna have sex. Um, I'm gonna fucking go for it because I'm a teenager, and that's the only thing I can think about, and I don't care if I die. Um, and all that stuff. I just really love Friday the 13th. I was fortunate enough to be able to watch them again this week, and I'm gonna keep going, just because I can't stop. I'm gonna keep going with 3 and probably 4 in the next couple of days, and then keep going after that. Um, where does this rank for you guys as far as the slasher Hall of Fame we've kind of produced so far? So as far as Friday the 13th, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Scream, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I've made very clear where Jason is for me. Where is Jason for you guys? Slash Mrs. Voorhees slash Friday the 13th as a series. Where does it rank for you guys? Even Chucky, throw Chucky in there.
Fuck Chucky.
Yeah, I mean that's how I feel too. But Jesus, are you alive, buddy?
Yeah, no, I'm here.
I was gonna say.
I didn't know who was
so
gonna chime in
quiet.
first.
You've been very quiet.
Yeah,
The Cosmos, man.
no, I'm sobering
Yeah,
up now. Guess who's
Alright.
back, guys? I'm just kidding. It's like we have like 5 minutes to go. Guess who's fucking back, boys?
Yeah, we
Cosmo Daddy's
really do.
back.
We really do have to get out of here.
All right.
Let's,
For me, he's definitely gonna rank in my Mount Rushmore, along with Leatherface, along with Michael Myers. No Ghostface. Definitely Ghostface is not on there.
Jay.
That fourth member, I'll probably give it to Freddy Krueger for me.
But like, where does he rank? So let's say, yeah, that's a Mount Rushmore, but like, out of those 4 that are on there, where does he rank it out of those, like, in that place?
He's gonna be my number 2 go.
After
Leatherface. I think it's
nice.
because for me, Leatherface and the whole Texas Chainsaw, when we did it, I was super stoked for that episode just because it touches more to me personally. It was one of my first horror movies that I remember like having to sneak into the movie theater, being completely scared about. The Friday the 13th movies, again, it was just something watching in middle school at home, watching with my parents, watching with family or something like that. So for me, Leatherface holds that deeper part, like I guess in my heart. So after that would definitely be Jason.
Love it. What about you, Michelle?
Y'all aren't gonna like my answer.
Well, you didn't like our-
Dylon. Spits hot fire, man.
Hot fire. I mean, you didn't like our answers for Scream, so I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna be like.
No, I mean, as far as that whole, like, the Mount Rushmore, I understand, like, having Freddy, Michael, Jason, and Leatherface on there. Fuck it, dude. Blame my age, my youngness, even though I think Josh, you and I are the same age. You guys have heard my argument for Scream, for Ghostface.
Yeah.
Don't you put Mrs. Voorhees on there.
So, I see, to me, they're like a team. I don't think Jason would exist without her and vice versa. So,
Well, she is his mother, so.
yeah. So,
Yeah, I mean,
Ew.
I'll accept that.
But if I had to, like, actually write down, which I just did, for me, it would be 1, Freddy.
Alright.
Just the idea of like not being able to sleep, which I love sleeping. That's
No,
like
I,
my
I,
thing. I'm about
I
it.
totally like Freddy number one. Is totally acceptable to me. I mean,
And that is terrifying. Like, fuck you, I want to sleep. Like, get away from me, Freddy.
yeah,
Two
absolutely.
would be Ghostface because I love the films. I love the story. I love everything about it.
It's
Again,
cheeky.
you've
Yeah,
already
it's
heard
cheeky.
my argument on this. Three would be Leatherface.
Oh boy, he's not gonna be up there. That's what's happening.
Four would be Michael.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Well,
saw it coming.
as long as she didn't put
I saw it
Chucky on
coming.
there.
Yeah. Here's the thing. It's very close. Again, if I could, okay, if there was a fifth one, of course it would be like a split statue of like both, half Pamela and then Jason on the right
Jason,
hand
yeah.
side. But he would still be last.
Oh,
Of those,
left to right, still ranking last.
yeah, that's the one. Oh, fun fact. I saw someone commented on here. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm not even gonna try, but it says Freddy versus Jason for me. Yeah, I watched that for the first time ever, like at the beginning of this shutdown.
Yeah,
Um, Sasad introduced me to it, and he was like, "The soundtrack rocks. Yeah, let's watch it." And I was like, "Okay." It was so ridiculous, but so good. I really wanted more of like Freddy and Jason just fighting, because that shit was
it is
awesome.
really good.
But like the ending with like they're both like so fucking dead. They still walk out of the lake, or pieces of them at least, and you just see that wink. Ugh, that shit gave me nightmares. Fucking Freddy is terrifying. But yeah, that's my my list. I'm sorry,
I'm just seeing.
Josh.
No, dude, and I get it. Like, and I don't. I love Ghostface. I don't like. He doesn't
The
make it up there
rapper
for
or the
me.
killer?
Both.
Hmm.
I mean,
Uh,
Ghostface kills
I'm
the
a,
shit.
I'm a Wu Tang fanatic. You know this.
Fuck yeah.
You know this, man. Um, but yeah, I mean, for me, I love Ghostface. I again, if there were five spots, without question, he's up there. It's just the way that I rank, and for me, it's him and Michael Myers too for that fourth spot. And sometimes, honestly, if I'm being honest, him and Michael Myers probably switch out a little bit because I there are times where I want to watch Scream more than I want to watch Halloween, and
Yeah, I
so
get
I
that.
haven't seen Jared's. For some reason, I hadn't seen his stuff. He said, "Hey, lady, you're scaring us." That's
Me?
obviously no. It's from the movie.
Oh, okay. I
Um,
was like, what did I do?
and then he said, "Oh my god, I can't," but I don't remember where that was from. He said, "I'm dying. I don't remember what we were talking about." But then a little bit later, he says he's immortal. So I guess we were talking about like that. I
Was
was
it when we were
arguing.
arguing?
Yeah,
Or
I was
the
arguing passionately about why Jason's better.
yeah.
Uh, Bone the Lady of the Lake.
Is that how Jason survived?
Yeah, I guess the Lady of the Lake is fucking awesome. Freddy versus Jason for me. So, dude, I agree. I think it's such a great fucking movie. Michelle was just talking about it. We're talking about the soundtrack. I think it's awesome. I think him and I have seen it together at least one time. I fucking love Freddy versus Jason, even though obviously some people really had a problem with it. And he says the whole battle goes hard as fuck. I think for me and you, Jared, and I mean I can't speak for you, but I think it reminds us of like some anime stuff, like some Goku
Yeah.
Vegeta fighting. Like it's just like,
Okay, I'll stop.
dude, yeah, it's like these two like badass motherfuckers going at it, fighting, and it's just sick. Like it's not a horror movie so much as it's like an action movie, and it's really really cool. And then he says, when Jason whacks that one chick into the trees like 40 yards away.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I mean, and that's where they start to they had more money and there was more special effects and they get a little ridiculous with it. I'm all for it. I love Jason X, for instance. A lot of people fucking hated Jason X. Um, I really liked that. So I get Ghostface, up there. I think that for me, I'm very clear about where those rankings are. Ernie, we'll hear from you, and then we'll get into the end of our show.
So mine's pretty much exactly like Michelle's, minus the spots with Myers and Bubba. So I think Myers over Bubba. But yeah, Jason would be a solid 5 for me.
So Myers and Bubba for your 3 and 4,
Yeah, and then Freddy
and
and
then
Ghostface.
Jason 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't have a problem with that. And one for you is Freddy.
Yeah. No, actually, no. I
Um,
think I'll actually go Ghostface as my one, to be honest.
Ghostface.
Yay!
Ghostface.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and
Oh
then
my
Freddy has
god.
2.
I mean, that fool
The
fucking falls.
only reason Ghostface wouldn't be one for me is because I feel like I could probably take him down because he's like a
I mean,
real thing.
a lot of people could
But
because he's
Yeah,
very clumsy.
but
he
he's
really
multiple
is.
people, right?
Yeah,
Like
I
it's
mean
a
that's true
multiple, but
too.
like the last ending, the guy who did it all, his Nev Campbell's character's step bro, like he's a little creepy, little bleh.
What
But
are you doing, step
I
bro?
cannot fucking go a day without sleep, and that's how I feel. Like I would fucking go so quickly if Freddy was a real thing. I need sleep. And that shit's just
Bro,
terrifying.
I'm ready to let fucking Freddy kill me right now.
You're like, bye guys.
Yeah, so that's our current rankings. We've talked about everybody now. So we've talked about everyone on that Mount Rushmore. We're gonna get away from those heavy hitters, and we're gonna go back to we've got some stuff coming up. We've got real life stuff, so not just serial killers, but hauntings, creepy places, creepy occurrences. We're gonna be talking about that stuff. We're also gonna be going back into modern horror, just because it's been a little while. We did talk about like houses October built and all that stuff with Halloween, but there are some horror movies that happened in the last 2 years that are heavy hitters for that we haven't talked about. We haven't talked about Hereditary. We haven't talked about The Conjuring. We haven't. So we're gonna go into some of that kind of stuff. We're gonna go into the real life stuff, including serial killers, and we've got a little bit of an announcement. Jesus is going to be with us as much as he possibly can, but he is not going to be as regular as he has been. So we're, just as a heads up, and as we're it's a call to action. If we are looking for people to rotate in for weeks that he can't be with us, and so if you have, I mean, Michelle's with us now, but her and Cesar have, they don't know when they're going to be back to work. They don't know what's going to happen with Corona and that kind of stuff. So when they can be here, we're going to have them. When they want to be here, rather, not when they can, but when they want to be here, they'll be here. But if you want to come on, let us know. Reach out to one of us and let us know when you want to be on, and we can get you on. And we'll tell you. Obviously, we'll tell you what we're gonna do, and you'll have plenty of time to prepare and that kind of stuff. And then we're gonna have other people rotating in that don't reach out to us. We're gonna have friends and other people that come in and are kind of a revolving door as that guest spot until maybe Jesus's school and life and all that stuff calms down. Although it'll be a long time from now. So uh, yeah, so he's going to be rotating in a little bit, and we honestly don't know. We don't know how it's going to work out, but he's just not going to be on every episode like he has been. So let us know. Let us know if you want to come in. Please like, please subscribe, please share, please tell people that we are here every week. Again, we are for sure trying to do one episode a week, trying to do a little bit more than that if we can. But again, we'll see what we can do. Thank you for everybody for showing up. Thank you for everybody who shows up every week. We can't tell you how much we fucking appreciate you guys. And really, I mean, you're the reason we keep doing this show. So thank you guys so much. Jared, Megan, I know you're out there. Amanda, we know you're out there. Amy, thank you for showing up. I know Eric was out there at some point. I don't know if he still is. But we really, Caesar, who you heard a little bit, fucking letting us know that our audio is fucked up. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for watching. It means the world to us that you guys keep doing that. So that is that. We're going to take one more shot because we only took one shot in the episode, and that feels unfair to me. Does anyone have a cheers they would like to do?
I'll do it.
Please.
Cheers to.
Ah,
Cheers. Cheers to Jesus, buddy.
Cheers.
Good luck at
Cheers.
school.
thanks, guys.
Ah, yes. Well, go ahead and go with your 1 minute each, and then we will shut this down. Ernie, you've been playing in quiet, so you go ahead first.
Okay, bye. There's gonna be a new killer. Next episode, I'll.
The baby. Oh, not that one.
Yeah,
That one?
it's the baby. I'll set something up to show you guys what it looks like and whatnot. And yeah,
Can't wait to fucking kick that thing.
yeah, you can kick the baby.
All right. Kick the baby. Don't kick the baby. Ike.
You
kick
can
the
literally,
baby.
because okay, I'll tell you what. So the new killer, they're called the twins. It's this big, giant girl, and her twin brother. That's kind of like a gremlin-looking baby that lives inside her
Goes
tit.
out to all my BBWs.
It lives inside her tit, right? And like you can control the baby or her. And if you're controlling the baby and you miss an attack, the survivor can run up and kick you and you die. Well, the baby dies. So you can kick the baby.
That sounds fucking graphic, but I'm looking forward to it. Sounds awesome. Sounds awesome. J Texas, you're up, buddy. Give your 1 minute.
I appreciate all you guys for sticking around, especially with all the technical difficulties that we had today. Again,
Yes.
like Josh said, I will be leaving in about 2 weeks. I will be trying to make on as many episodes as I possibly can, but unfortunately, due to my new work schedule, school schedule, everything like that coming up, it's going to be very difficult for me. But I love to get on as much as I possibly can and have these evenings with you boys. It definitely helps me out, at least get some of the stress off. You heard me drinking all my fucking Cosmos today, so I apologize for my quietness sometimes. It was coming and going, but I definitely had fucking fun. Happy Friday the 13th to all y'all out there.
Cheers, boys. Michelle, you are up. Your 1 minute.
Yo. So I think my manager sent my contract. I'm set for the next 5 episodes, I think. For
Nice.
$12.50 an hour.
Fucking
Uh,
signed her. Let's go.
so I'll be here if you need me. Just let me know.
Hell yeah.
The payment amount is
Clearly, I can.
debatable still. So
Yeah, we're in negotiations a little bit.
Yeah, we're negotiating. But anyway, that aside, if you need me, I'll be here. I mean, shit, dude. I studied film. I'm all about it. I love being here talking to you guys. This is my thing. If, in all honesty, if I were to leave the bar industry, it would be to go get my master's in film and study screenwriting, which I'm actually kind of trying to do that. Spoilers. I don't know if I should.
Nice.
So,
Congrats.
Hell
thanks.
yeah.
But
Fuck yeah.
if anyone can want to talk to me about that later. Anyway, all of that aside, I just quick little anecdotes. I was on the phone with my mom earlier today, and I mentioned to her that I was going to be a part of this podcast today, and she was like, "How can you do that? I love watching Hallmark movies because they're just so happy and cheerful and this and that. Like, how can you watch horror all the time? And why don't you talk about other things?" And I kind of explained to her, like arts in general, whether it be literature, like visual, film, etc., it puts you at a dis-ease, right? And I feel like the horror genre is the epitome of this idea of art putting you at this dis-ease. It's not supposed to make you comfortable, and it's supposed to make you feel something that's not like ordinary or whatever. So I think it's awesome what you guys are doing. And thank you for having me on because I can talk about this shit all day, as I am right now. But cheers. Um, Thank you for doing what you do and bring me on. Let's talk about Hereditary. I can talk about that for 45 hours.
I bet.
Oh, let's go. Yeah,
Let's do
dude.
it.
We got to talk about it. Not you being on, but what we're actually gonna do because all of these things were just like floated. And we have to decide what we're actually gonna do. But we'll definitely let you know and have you on next week if you want to. Um, and quickly, I've had the same discussion with my parents over and over and over again. They don't understand the horror thing. My mom doesn't understand watching movies to be scared, but also is in that like Hallmark fucking Lifetime movie things where I'm like, dude, I couldn't. I'd watch a million horror movies before you could fucking pay me to watch a Lifetime movie. Like I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I don't know why they're even made or how they make any money. But that's for another time. Josue is here. Josh, what's up, buddy?
Oh yeah, he was playing
Um,
with me when I was doing Survivor.
Oh shit, nice. Hopefully we'll have him on at some point. We'll figure out a movie that he likes and get him on here. What's up, dude? Glad you're here. And Jared says this has been a great stream, guys. It was hilarious. For me, it's been a while for me, but I'm glad I caught this one. It was hilarious. Love you guys. I love you too, buddy. We'll catch up soon. I'm in Redosa right now, but I'll hit you up when I get back. Yeah, so hopefully we'll get Jared on here, we'll get Eric on here, we'll get fucking Josh on here, and we'll fucking tear it up coming up here, and it'll be good. Thank you everybody for showing up. That's it for us.
Okay,
All right,
bye.
As always, fuck the free world.
3-1-3.